Spring is wedding season. Everybody is all excited. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and the hearts are turning to love. And the brides are visiting bridal shows, and the flowers are starting to grow. And so you just think happy, wonderful thoughts anytime someone talks about getting married. And all these young couples are looking at each other with moon eyes, and they're just all googly eyed over each other. And you want to encourage them and then rejoice with them. But so often we think, yeah, but what happens to the happily ever after down the road? We were no different. We had a wonderful wedding day. And here's a picture of us when we got married. And we were just so excited to be getting married and looking forward to our happily ever after. And then life goes on, and we had children, and we were involved in things. And then about 13 years into our marriage, our happily ever after kind of evaporated. And we were wondering where it went. And we began to investigate what was really going on in between the two of us and in ourselves. And we ended up talking to a counselor, and he looked at us and he says, it's not issues necessarily between the two of you, but it's the stuff that you dragged down the aisle with your wedding train, and Grant and his tails dragged up to the front with his. It's the baggage that we carried individually into our marriage that began to cause us difficulty farther down the road as we had gotten to know each other, and the shine had come off the initial blush of the wedding. And so what I just want to caution you today is, when you are looking forward to the happily ever after, perhaps you need to deal with some of the stuff that you're intending to carry down the aisle with you in the form of that baggage that you're accumulating even now before you're getting married. Because that is what's going to cause the clashes. You bring your stuff into the marriage, and he brings his stuff into the marriage, and before you know it, there's no room for anything else, because those bags start to interfere with each other. And so we would highly recommend that you take a good look at yourself and ask the Lord, what is going to be causing me trouble when I get married? What do I need to deal with so that my marriage can have that happily ever after down the road? Grant and I dealt with our marriage issues, that we dealt with our individual stuff rather, and then we came together and had counseling over the marriage issues, which hardly were there by the time we had dealt with our individual baggage. So we would really recommend that to live a transformed life and to have a transformed marriage, deal with your own stuff, and then you'll be able to walk free of the rest. So we'd like to hear from you how your marriage has been transformed by getting rid of your own personal baggage. And Grant will talk to you again next week. The subscription form is right over there out the window. We'll talk to you again later. Bye.